Well, I think the artists had a lot more creative control than they do now. I mean, in a sense, the record labels, they go wherever the wave is. If there's money there, that's where they're going to go with it. And if your brand does not fit that shift, then you get swallowed up.
When you see now that not only, I mean, you guys crossed over a long time ago, but now there is nostalgia's in. And so you all have the Showtime documentary that came out of Mics and Men, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
I like it
And
too.
of course, you have Wu-Tang American Saga. So you have a docu-series and you have a whole series based off your life.
Yeah.
What's it like to see, dealing specifically with American Saga, what's it like to see your life played out on screen as somebody who's now an actor?
Wow. I mean, it's weird. I'm glad that you know, oh wow. Jesus.
Your life
We
is
good
so
though.
out.
It's just audio, correct? Is it?
It
Jeez.
is. We just use the visual to uh, to 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 do social media clips, so to tease the podcast. So if you
Gutter!
like,
Come here, Gutter. I need you real Yep, there we go.
oh yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
This is my daughter's thing. Ray! Come here, Ray. Get my light for me, my new light. This is Spatty's one. This one don't work like mine, man. Go get mine. Yeah, it blew out. Okay,
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
funny.
Now,
It
what
looks
was
good though. It looks good. I said, yeah, it looks good. That's funny. That's a good moment. No, my question is this: like, what's it like for you as an actor to see your life played out on screen with
Got
American
it.
Saga?
It's okay. Now, RZA, I get what he was striving to do when he did the American Saga thing. He wanted
Mm,
to keep the Wu-Tang name relevant. It was our 20th, yeah, our 20th anniversary or 25th, 25th, yeah, 25-year anniversary in the game, and a lot of things were spinning at the time. Smart dude, he plays chess. He got us a series deal, but his idea was to have this series play out over seasons. I couldn't see it because it's like I've never. I mean, even New Edition only got 4 episodes. You know what I mean? You're talking about like 8 episodes for like 5, 6 seasons. What are we doing? And long story short, it's a lot of embellishing, but it's good to have something like that to watch, especially to show the kids. But you got to do a lot of fact checking, a lot of fact checking. As far as of Mics and Men, I thoroughly enjoyed that documentary. Mass Appeal did an excellent job with that. Um, I thought we owed the fans that. They needed to see that to know exactly the ins and outs of what was going on in that era and how we were dealing with just a new life and a new lifestyle and being in a group of guys and the turmoil that comes with that as well as the goodness that comes out of that, you know. And even for us to sit down and just be present again, all of us in the same room, just present again and revealing things that some of us didn't even know about each other, you know. It was great. It was great. I thought that something and went a little far with some things, but all of that shit in there needed to be said, and I think the fans deserved it.
Um, you said you just said that there were some things that you learned that you didn't know, or maybe it was some feelings that were exposed that you weren't aware of. Like,
Yeah.
what were some of the things that you didn't know, or some feelings that came out that you were unaware of?
Well, the one thing that stood out the most is that Master Killer, whose actual government last name is Turner, is a straight descendant of Nat Turner. Blew my mind, you know what I mean? And I believe they have some lineage to Marvin Gaye also. That blew my mind. And yeah, it's something else in there, but I can't think of it off top. But I know there's some things in there people didn't know about me, you know, with the lacrosse thing and maybe even the comic books or the shelter. And like I said, it's not easy revealing and opening yourself up to people like that. I'm telling you, I didn't give everybody everything. I was still reserved about a lot of things, but all in all, it was a great documentary. And would I do it again? Hell no.
You wouldn't do it again.
No, I would not do it again. Hell no. A lot of ugly things came up out of that, but like I said, it was something the fans deserved to see when you pull that curtain or behind the curtain, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you lived through so many interesting periods in hip hop. And of course, you know, you lived through a very ugly period, which is the supposed East Coast, West Coast rift. As somebody who had friends on both coasts, who was cool with both camps, when you think about that time now, sort of what comes to mind and like, what's your perspective on it now?
Well, anybody that was there that was in the know knew that it wasn't a East Coast, West Coast thing. It was this camp versus, well, it was really just Pac and Big had their dispute on whatever the truth was, and only they know the truth. The East Coast, West Coast thing came about from media, hip hop media. I guess they love drama. It's the same way that there was an era where native tongues, that was Jungle Brothers, De La Soul, people like that. You had PE, KRS-One, You Must Learn, where hip hop shifted and these guys were pushed out. And a more gangster sound, which I'm not mad at because we needed that for the times, was flooded into the market. So a lot of the messages and things of that nature got swallowed up by this crop of just, we're gonna put you all in this light here, this gangster shit, and we're gonna run with that. We're gonna silence these teachers and bring in the thugs. I don't know if I said that right, but we're gonna silence the people over here that are teaching something, and this is the message that we want to bring. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You go ahead. Finish your thought.
And at that point in time, you know, this is how Wu-Tang gets in the game with a protect your neck. But once we got everybody's attention, you get a song like Cream that talks about the ills, upset lifestyle. All right.
So do you feel as if hip hop then was a little more nuanced than it is now?
Well, I think the artists had a lot more creative control than they do now. I mean, in a sense, the record labels, they go wherever the wave is. If there's money there, that's where they're going to go with it. And if your brand does not fit that shift, then you get swallowed up at the end of the day. And then it's like they pay you no attention. It's like a girlfriend that's a gold digger, and once you're not hot anymore, she doesn't answer your calls anymore with no explanation or anything. That's a record, or that's what it is. That's the record industry right there as a whole. It's like that gold digging ass girlfriend. As soon as you can't make any more money, it's like on to the next.
Well, I do try not to sound judgmental of today's hip hop because, listen, it might be some point I'm gonna have to explain to my kids. I don't have any, but like if I had some, I had to explain to them how much I love "Bitch Better Have My Money" by AMG. Which they got the coldest, might have the coldest opening line in hip hop history. Ain't nothing like that, but like that might be the coldest one, right? It's like, whoa, we right here. It's 0 to 100 right back. I was like, so I can't say shit about today's music because I'm like, God knows, like some shit I used to listen to.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So as somebody who's a father, like, have you had those conversations with your kids?
No, I avoided those. I avoided those actually. No, seriously. It's never really came up. The kids have always listened to the music we listen to the same way we listen to the music our parents listen to. So, I mean, those issues never really came up. It's something about urban kids that grow up in urban homes. They know the difference between outside and inside, where it's like certain things that happen in the house stay in the house, and they kind of get it. You know what I'm saying? So, no, I've never really had that problem. I've never had to go up to school because my son was doing gangster shit at school because he heard it in a in a song. Nah, that's never happened. I like to think I'm a better parent than that. Jesus.
or repeating some of your lyrics. I guess that's
this
cool.
Is
like
true,
they know better. Right?
But you know what? For like 10 years now, and I'm not going to even hold you, I haven't cursed on a record. As far as verses. Now, the lead in, I may say a little shit here and there before I start rhyming, but as far as the verses, no. And that was by choice. I was asked to write a verse without curses, and once I did it, and it still sounded hard, I was like, let me see if I can continue doing this, and if people will notice. And nobody noticed.
You're right. Until you said it, I didn't notice that you hadn't. Right?
Now they're talking about verse of the year on a record I did with Conway, and there's not a curse word in my verse at all. No N word, no bitch's, nothing. And that's incredible to me. And a lot of people didn't even notice that I didn't curse in the verse. But to answer your question, I mean, I've sat in the car basically with my mother-in-law and listened to some of our records come on the radio and was a little cringy in the car. You know what I mean? You know, so I get it. I get it. And you try sitting in first class with the Wu-Tang Clan. Those flight attendants did not know what hit them because our sentences end with and shit. So imagine what everything that's said before that and shit. You know what I mean? So they ain't never felt nothing like that before.